All right, we're live. Good evening, folks.
Hello, hello.
Good to see you. I'm Justin Enquist, my lovely wife, Alicia.
Enquist.
And we're excited to be here tonight with you. It's a little bit late, but we're determined.
Better late than never.
Share a little something that we're working on and it's on our heart to share with you guys. I have something very serious, though, I wanted to share with you first as we get started. It's a little story that I came across that I think is very inspirational.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Here we go. I took my old countertop to a swap meet, okay? After remodeling my kitchen, I had no use for it and I was looking for a trade. It wasn't very long before I was approached by a young couple. "Wow, that countertop is gorgeous," said the guy. "I must have it. Tell you what, I'll trade you my girlfriend." His girlfriend was stunning. "Are you sure?" I asked. "Absolutely. She will take care of you and make you very happy." "Just to be sure and appreciate her and show her respect," he said. "What do you say about that?" I said, I don't know about that. I'll be taking her for granted." Anyways, yeah, you don't want to take your wife for granted, or your girlfriend, unless it's a really good looking piece of countertop, right? No, but how many times we just take things for granted? And one thing that, we don't want to take for granted is the fact that this year is almost over. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
I can't believe that we are already a third into the last quarter of this year. And it just seems like yesterday that I was, we were doing our year plans, planning our first quarter and all our goals, having our 5 goals and everything that we're working on. And hey, Julie. Hey, Tim. How you doing tonight?
Hello, hello.
And so anyways, but now it's like, we're into the last part of the year. You can see the Christmas, coming around the corner, and we're talking about going and seeing the Christmas show, the Busch Gardens, and all kinds of stuff, trying to work that out and stuff. But
fun festivities.
But it started to kind of get me, kind of like freak me out here earlier this week and last week, and I started realizing, I am way far from reaching the goals that I had for this year, and I was kind of like getting discouraged because, it's like, man, time is flying by, and there's so much going on. It's a busy time of life too with the holidays. And hey guys, thanks for watching. So anyways, we're trying to figure out how do we still finish strong. Like most people, a lot of people just say give up and say, what, forget my goals, forget wherever, what happened, and we'll just start fresh on New Year's resolutions. And that's what most average people would do. Mm-hmm. And it's very tempting. It's something that I'm like, it sounds good. Let's just forget it all, right? But not us, because we have big goals, big whys. We're excited. We've built momentum throughout the year, reaching our goals, and so we're trying to figure out how can we still finish strong and still enjoy our life, enjoy the season, but still finish strong. So here's a few ideas that we wanted to kind of run by you, the things that we're doing and things that maybe you could do.
Kind of help bring some sanity to our
And one of the things, like how we kind of got this idea, for number one, I'm very grateful for my mentors and coaches. And, if I didn't have them, I'd be a mess because it's so easy to get stuck and caught into, our little world, our ruts. And sometimes we need to have an outside perspective to kind of look in and say, hey, what about this? Or hey, you're doing great, let's focus on this. And also, last weekend and the weekend before, I went to some real estate conferences and some networking events, and one was strictly on multifamily apartment building and stuff that I really love and getting involved in, and then one was just here locally, and it was just real estate period, whether it be any kind of wholesaling, rehabbing, but the thing that stood out to me was the message that you've got to stay in your own lane. It's so easy to swerve and kind of see something shiny and glittery over here and veer over here, or to try to take on too much. Where the thing that kept hammering home, I kept hearing was, you have got to stay in your own lane. You've got to pick your destination. You got to pick your target, and you've got to just aim for that target, and stop getting distracted, stop veering off, stop allowing other things to draw your attention. And so that's kind of what we're doing, what I'm planning on doing here to try to finish strong this year, is, you hear a lot of people talk about having, 3 to 5 goals, And that's great. But I'll tell you what, when you're at towards the end of the year and you're running out of time, I say pick one really life-changing goal or action that could actually change, really get you to a new level, or something needs to happen. And let's just make one big goal. And so one thing you might consider doing, and one of my coaches kind of encouraged me to do this, is he said, why don't you pick one goal in your business or in your occupation or whatever it is that you know would make a big difference for you, and just really shoot to try to achieve that one goal. And also pick one goal in your personal life. What's one thing in your personal life that would really make a difference? So you'd like to do, you've been wanting to do, you've been working on all year or whatever, maybe with multiple other things. Let's just kind of put everything else aside and pick one thing.
Simplify it.
And let's just finish strong and finish on a win this year and set us up for the next year with momentum. And so, pick one goal for your business, one goal for your personal, and then I would say go ahead and pick one goal or something that you'd like to accomplish or you think would be important that you could achieve in the next quarter of the new year. So, and instead of waiting till New Year's Day or New Year's Eve or whatever you do your New Year's resolutions, let's go ahead now kind of think bigger picture. What would I like to accomplish, see myself accomplishing in the next, first part of the next year? And so those all can kind of work together. You could have one big goal, and maybe your goal in your business or in your personal life this year would be something that would be a good stepping stone to prepare you, for where you'd like to be in the next quarter or the next year, actually being able to be building momentum right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's
really
kind of
what
we're
you
doing.
do right now is going to affect what you accomplished in the first quarter.
Well, and that's also what's going to give you momentum.
Right.
It's going to give you an edge and give you the benefit when other people are just now kind of slowing down, putting on the brakes. You can kind of aim your focus and keep the gas going, and still be able to enjoy the sights and stuff, but still be making some progress and reaching towards your destination.
Ready. That's right.
So, for me, I'm definitely been working on what in my business would be a game changer. What's the key thing that, maybe I haven't quite made happen this year yet, but I'm close. And I'm working on that. So think about what's that for you? What is it? Maybe it's hiring another employee, or maybe it's, getting a piece of machinery, or maybe it's, reaching a certain different market or getting in a location or whatever it might be. Maybe changing your hours or focusing. Like one thing I've had to do in my business is, we do have one of my businesses is a design remodeling company, and we design build. We do some new builds too. But basically, we were taking on everything. Any kind of like remodeling, construction, building. I was going from building new developments to wedding pavilions to full remodels to build additions, to whatever, and so we basically, it seemed like we were trying all these different things, but we weren't being able to really specialize in anything. And so it seemed like each project was like a big time learning experience where, we have our niche, we're really good, our team is really good, we got a great team, and so our specialty is design. Our specialty is like design, remodeling, and kitchen and baths in particular. And along with that, if we're going to branch out a little more, then we would do something more like just interior renovations, where we make like an open concept, but still centering around like the kitchen or the master bedroom suite kind of idea. So that's kind of our niche. And so that's something, part of this whole idea of staying in your lane, that this last quarter, and it was actually the second quarter of this year, I really started zeroing in on our target marketing and being selective on the kind of jobs we take on, and really trying to keep our jobs in that area of expertise. And so that's in that area in my business, it's really helped us. So then, every job is not like a new learning experience, trying to specialize or learn new codes or learn new types of work or different types of, requirements or guidelines and stuff. And we can become experts at what we do and have systems and be able to come right on in and just take our customers, right on through a smooth ride through, getting their kitchen and bath or, their main floor turned into a open concept. So that's really helped us. And so that's what I'm trying to do now overall, my big picture with my businesses and with myself personally, figure out, what's the next step for me that would really help get me to the next level of where I'm trying to get my bigger goals. And so, of course, hopefully you've taken some time to sit down and come up with your bigger goals. Have your dreams, your vision boards, or whatever. Have your 10-year, then your 3-year, your 1 year, your quarterly, and then your weekly and daily and stuff. But even if you haven't, you can still come up with one good goal that would be something you'd like or need to happen that's hindering you from being able to get where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something I would definitely recommend you do. Now, so how do we practically do that on a daily basis? That's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
So any thoughts there, Alicia?
So I think one of the first things is there's the power of writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's, I was talking to somebody the other day and we were talking about, in this computer world and, virtual world and all of that, there is so much power in pen and paper, writing it down. And so you're just writing down those goals and kind of centers you and reminds you what you're doing every day. So that's a big one.
Yeah, so I mean, you want maybe you want an electronic list, okay? Maybe that's something you want. But I would say even along with that, especially on a daily basis, get you some sticky notes and keep sticky notes. There's nothing more fun than writing out your goals for the day on a sticky note, crossing them off, and then taking that baby and crunching it up and slamming it into the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just something more. It's something just mentally,
I keep it all in like a journal. I did the bullet journaling this year, and there's times when I go back, I've already finished a job, but I go and write it so that I can check it off the list. So, and it's kind of fun to go back and look too, then when it's done. So, yeah, that's a big thing. Just writing down the goal, or what specifically you're going to do to get to that goal every day, and put it where you can see it. And
well, another thing that just kind of a side note is there's nothing more rewarding than actually looking at what you've done and seeing check marks.
Exactly.
And seeing what you've done, what you've accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're so good at making a list of things we still need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Why not make a list of everything we've done,
mm-hmm.
and then be able to celebrate it and stuff. So basically, another idea of what you can do on a daily basis to help you reach your one goal, in your business, your one goal in your life, and then all that gearing up to the one big goal or something you want to achieve in the first quarter of next year, is keep that in mind. But then in the morning, every day, stop and think and remind yourself, what is that one goal, or what is the activity that I'm wanting to accomplish or do? What's the big activity of this day? Maybe it's an aspect of your big goal
mm-hmm.
that day. Maybe you need to break it down into smaller little steps or different aspects, but make one focus. But have one focus for that day that you're going to focus on. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Just when you think of that, make one and say, okay, well, this aspect is something I need to work on, and I want to make this the focus today. Then think what comes to your mind right away.
Mm-hmm.
Of how. I guarantee you, all of a sudden things are going to come to mind of how you could do that, or what you could do, what you need to do.
Because really every day we have that opportunity to either get closer to our goal or further away from our goal. It's that slight edge, compound, both of those principles.
So maybe it's something that you need to stop doing, as
mm-hmm.
opposed to something you need to do. Maybe it's something on your schedule you have scheduled on your calendar that you need to actually call and cancel. I've had to do that quite a bit here lately. I fill my calendar full of stuff, and I start looking at my goals, and this is not in line with where I need to be or what needs to happen,
mm-hmm.
and so I have to reschedule or cancel or just forget it right now. And so that's something. So basically, pick one action, one goal a day, one focus a day, and then figure out what are some action steps. And that's where those action steps you need to write on a sticky note, and you need to stick it on your computer, stick it on your visor in your car. You need to stick it on your refrigerator. You need to stick it, on your toilet paper, wherever you're going to catch your eye, on the front of your phone and stuff to remind you. And so, because it's so easy to, just blurt past lists on your iPhone or, on your computer and stuff. There's nothing like having a sticky note sitting there in front of you that you can actually scribble on or mark off, and then, of course, at the end of the day, crinkle up. And so, do that, and then at the end of the day, before you go to bed, before you shut things down, you stop and look at your goal for the day, your one focus, and look at the action steps you were going to do, and then look and see, did I actually take these actions? And then what was my experience in these actions? And what did I learn? What did I benefit from? Because a lot of times it's one of the things I struggle with, and I still do, but this is one thing that I'm working on that helps me, is I learn a lot of things. I go through a lot of experiences in life, and I learn, I hear stuff all the time, inspiration, I read things, but I have a hard time remembering it. It seems like it goes in one ear and out the other, and as long as it's in front of my face, it seems like it's so inspiring, but then, someone asked me later in the day or middle of the afternoon, so what was your goal today, or what are you working on, or what are you inspired about, or what are you learning, or give me a good word or something, and I'm like, boom, brain dead. And I'm like, and so I'm trying to figure out, how can I get this stuff to stick? How can I get it to actually be something that's usable that I can actually draw back up? And so this is one way to do it. It's one way is to, kind of like when you go to public speaking training, or when I went to seminary and they were teaching us how to preach and give messages, they said you want to tell people what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you just told them. It's kind of to reinforce it and keep them focused. And so that's what we're trying to do here. You're telling yourself what you're wanting to do. You're telling yourself as you're doing it, and then you stop at the end of the day and you tell yourself what you just did, or it helps you think about it more and kind of really get it to stick and become part of you. And so I encourage you to do that. Pick whatever your activity is for the day. Pick one activity. It's all about the power of one. We can honestly, we can only do one thing at a time. Yes, we may say that we can multitask and do all this stuff, but the reality is we can really only do one thing, be doing one thing at a time, and do it well and stuff. And so, it's up to us to take full responsibility for our lives, take full responsibility for, our responses. That is our responsibility. We can't necessarily control our environment or what happens to us, but we can definitely control what we focus on, how we view it, how we interpret it, or how we apply it, or of course how we respond to it, and stuff. And so keep it simple. I know I've read this before, but I got this little plaque on the wall that I read all the time, and it says, start by doing one push-up, start by drinking 1 cup of water, by paying towards 1 debt, start by reading 1 page, start by making 1 sale, start by deleting 1 old contact, start by walking 1 lap, start by attending 1 event, start by writing 1 paragraph, and start today and then repeat tomorrow. So the reality is, if we take 1 focus a day, guess how many different things we could learn or we could work on, guess how many steps that we could accomplish in a year, just by doing 1 thing a day. 365 things. Now, if you try to do 365 things right now, you wouldn't get 1 thing done. But if we focus on 1 at a time, that's the power of the compound effect. That's the power of the slide edge we talked about. And I definitely encourage you to read those books if you haven't. One's called The Slide Edge. Another one by a different author, that same principle, just different perspective, is called The Compound Effect. And it's a powerful principle, once you realize it. And you can have a powerful difference in your life. So that's basically our message is, let's go ahead and finish strong this year, and don't overwhelm yourself. Let's go ahead and pick 1 goal, 1 business goal, 1 personal goal that you're going to try to achieve and conquer in school this year, so you can win strong, celebrate, have something awesome to tell people at the holidays, around Christmas time, and it'll just fuel you and motivate you when you get to your New Year's resolutions. You're like, hey, I'm just going to tap into the momentum I already got going on, because my big goal for the first quarter of the next year is already been focused on. We're already moving that way. And so we're going to just, expedite and just speed way ahead of everyone else when they're just starting to get going, after all the holidays and the time off and trying to get back into their swing of things.
And just remember the seeds that you're planting today, you're going to reap in 3 to 6 months. So next year, if you want big things, you got to start now. So start.
And one little final thought that I want to leave that kind of really hit me in one of the last masterminds or meetings I was in was the whole concept that when your emotions go up, intelligence goes down. And so, it's really important to not let things get our emotions all stirred up and get ourselves all stirred into a frenzy, but just focus on the facts. Focus on, when in real estate, you want to focus on the numbers. You don't want to get emotionally involved in your investments or in your properties, because then you'll end up paying way too much, or you'll end up fixing them up way too much. And then, it's not about the numbers. And then next thing you know, there's no profit, or you've lost money on it. You've over improved. And so that's the principle in every area of our life, though. It's not just real estate. It's in every area of your life. Focus on the fact. Focus on your list. Focus on your direction. Stay in your lane. You might all of a sudden get this whim of, if you're traveling down a road and you need to meet this destination, but all of a sudden you see this billboard and get all excited and veer off this way and veer off this way. Or you're like, well, I could try doing this. I could go there, go here. And so next thing you know, you're never going to reach that destination if you allow your emotions, or you're gonna get a flat tire, or you're gonna get a bird plaster your windshield, and you're going to give up and stuff. But the fact of the matter, if you realize that, hey, I can still move forward, we'll clean this crap up, let's keep on, it's just next step. Don't get carried away, don't get upset. Let's just take it one step, one day at a time. And if just the intelligence part comes down to just having a plan and having a written plan. If you try to live by your feelings or your emotions, then guess what? It's never going to happen. I still struggle with that. But, I tell myself, I don't need to write a plan down. I don't need to get action steps, because I'll just do it. No problem. I got it all up here, right? It's just going to happen. And then guess what? I find myself in the morning just kind of getting distracted, looking at my phone, taking calls, or just whatever, you just get distracted by whatever comes your way. And that's operating by your emotions, by your feelings. Or I don't feel like getting up, it's cold outside. I'd rather just sleep in a little bit.
There's always some reason.
There's something, but if we have a plan, if we have, a goal, and we have some action steps we got to take, and we just plan on, but it's simple enough to where we can actually do it. It's not like overwhelming, and we just take those steps of action. Then we can overcome the feelings of even discouragement, emotions of I'm no good, I'll never reach it. But if we can, and we talked about this before. The secret to success is building a reputation with yourself of being consistent and following your commitments, and actually following through with what you tell yourself you're going to do. And that's a big part of this too. It's a big part of developing a track record with yourself, of winning and having little wins every day. So every time you should pick one thing. So make sure whatever you pick on a daily basis, it is something that's achievable. You want something that pushes you a little bit, but but on a daily basis, it's not the kind of thing where you want to push yourself, crazy to where you never achieve it. Otherwise, you're going to feel like a failure every day. And then that's not going to be good for reaching your big goals. Because the secret behind big goals, and Alicia will tell you this is something that she's talked a lot about. Why do we even set goals? What is a goal for? Is a goal ultimately to be reached? Well, yes, we want to reach the goal, but guess what? There's many times that we actually blow right past our goals. And other times we don't achieve them. And so, what's the significance of a goal? You want to tell them what the significance of a goal is?
So it's to grow me as a person so that I can achieve that goal. Yeah. Which really has brought so much freedom to me, because I used to have a really hard time setting goals, because if I didn't reach it, if I didn't achieve it, I felt like I let myself down. I let other people down. I didn't want to tell people what my goals are, or anything like that. Because what if I don't do it? And so that was like revolutionary to me, to just think about, it's not to achieve that certain thing. Yes, that's what I'm aiming for, and that's what I'm going for. And a lot of times I can hit it, but it's because I'm growing as a person, and so that I'm capable of achieving that goal. And if that happens, if I've grown, if I've matured, if I'm ready now as a person to hit that goal, then I've achieved it. Like that's the purpose of it.
Yeah. So. And a little secret there, as you saw, and I'll give you a little secret of what you should do. Say you have a goal you want to achieve, the best thing to do is actually set a goal beyond that you're shooting for. Don't aim for that goal, shoot beyond it. And you'll be surprised that you'll actually blow right past the goal that you would normally be aiming for. It's going to make it seem a lot more achievable, because you're going to become a bigger person quicker. And so I've seen that quite a few times. You know, you don't want to aim, even like in shooting or in archery or whatever, you want to make sure or even when you're throwing, you know, if you're throwing a ball, you want to make sure your hand, your arm just goes right in that direction. Even after you're throwing the ball, it keeps on going, you know, in order to keep that straight and keep that, whatever you're shooting or throwing, you know, heading without getting a little twist or a turn at the last minute and stuff. So anyways, you know, take what we said, you know, whatever aspect resonates with you. And but all we want to say was just as we're gearing up for almost to the middle of this last quarter, we're a third way through the last quarter of the year. Let's not just get discouraged. Let's even more so narrow in and zero in our focus, and you know, stay in our lane, and let's just win. Let's win, and let's really give ourselves excitement, confidence, momentum for this new year coming up. Right?
That's right.
All right. Well, have a good night.
Thanks for joining us.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye.